Thank you. And welcome to the dating game. And we'll get right underway. It's time to meet our first three eligible bachelors for game number one. And here they are. Good luck, gentlemen. Well, let's see. Bachelor number one is a successful photographer who got his start when his father found him in the dark room at the age of 13, fully developed. Between takes, he might find him skydiving or motorcycling. Please welcome Rodney Alcala. Rod, welcome. And those are our three bachelors for the game, and we'll be right back to meet our young lady after this. Don't go away.
Rodney Alcala seemed at first glance like the kind of man people were drawn to. He was articulate, intelligent, creative, and for a time lived the kind of life most people would describe as exciting. He studied film in New York under Roman Polanski, worked as a professional photographer, and even landed a job as a typesetter at the Los Angeles Times. To his friends and co-workers, Alcala was quirky, a little offbeat, maybe eccentric, but ultimately harmless. What nobody around him realized was that this man, who laughed, joked, and blended seamlessly into daily life, was secretly one of the most sadistic killers in modern history. By the late 1970s, Rodney Alcala had already taken multiple lives, and the way he did it revealed a disturbing mind, unlike almost anything else on record. Unlike most serial killers, Alcala didn't kill quickly. He played with his victims in ways that are difficult to even describe. He would strangle them until they lost consciousness, then wait until they revived, only to repeat the process again and again, prolonging their suffering for hours before finally ending their lives. This pattern of control and cruelty earned him comparisons to a predator toying with its prey, and investigators later admitted his methods were some of the most horrifying they had ever encountered. But what makes his story even more surreal is how close he was to being exposed and how confidently he lived his double life. In 1978, Alcala appeared on national television as a contestant on The Dating Game, a show where bachelors answered questions from an unseen woman and competed for a date. Millions of people across the country watched as Rodney, tall, smiling, and charming, answered playfully suggestive questions, winking at the audience and putting on a performance of confidence. What nobody realized, not the audience, not the host, not even the other contestants sitting right beside him, was that they were watching a serial killer perform on live TV. At the time of his appearance, Alcala had already murdered women. His presence on the show stands today as one of the most chilling juxtapositions of horror and normalcy ever caught on camera. The idea that a man who had committed such unthinkable acts could also sit under bright lights, laugh with strangers, and be applauded by an audience is something that continues to disturb people to this day. What makes this all worse is that Alcala actually won the game. The Bachelorette, Cheryl Bradshaw, initially agreed to a date with him, but later backed out, describing him as creepy. That instinctive refusal may very well have saved her life. Beyond the dating game, another fact makes Alcala's story even more bizarre and unsettling. During his time working at the Los Angeles Times, he was not the only predator in the building. William Bonin, later known as the Freeway Killer, who would go on to murder at least 21 young men and boys, also worked at the paper during the same period. Think about that. Two serial killers, both active, both hiding in plain sight, walking the same halls of an office building, passing each other in break rooms, blending in with their co-workers while leading double lives drenched in blood. It almost sounds like an urban legend, the idea that two of California's most infamous killers could work side by side without anyone knowing. But it's true, and it stands as a reminder of how deeply these men concealed their true selves behind masks of normalcy. Alcala's crimes spanned decades. He used his role as a photographer to lure in women and children, promising professional photo shoots, and in his possession, investigators later found hundreds of photographs of women and children, some identified, others who remain unknown to this day. Police believe some of these unidentified individuals may have been additional victims, meaning that the true scope of Alcala's crimes may never fully be understood. Officially, he was convicted of murdering 5 people, but authorities suspect the number could be closer to 100, perhaps even more. The sheer number of unidentified photos found in his storage unit continues to fuel speculation about how far his crimes extended. Despite years of trials, appeals, and convictions, Alcala seemed almost indifferent, carrying himself with the same disturbing confidence he always had, as though he never truly believed justice would catch up to him. Eventually, he was sentenced to death, though California's death penalty system ensured that he would spend decades in prison before his execution could ever be carried out. He died of natural causes in 2021, taking with him the secrets of just how many lives he truly destroyed. The story of Rodney Alcala is one of the most unnerving examples of evil hiding in plain sight. A man who smiled for the cameras, who appeared on television as if he were nothing more than a charming bachelor, who worked in an office alongside another active serial killer, and who convinced countless people to trust him, all while harbouring some of the darkest, most sadistic tendencies imaginable. To this day, the images of him on the dating game feel like something out of a nightmare, because we now know what the audience at home did not. They were watching a predator laugh, flirt, and smile, even as the truth of his crimes lay hidden just out of sight.